Hello, and welcome to Make Your Life Healthy. I'm your host, Patricia Sternkorb, of this weekly medical news program. And today we're doing a very special program. We have a guest with us I'm thrilled to introduce you to. His name is Russ Bianchi, and he is the Managing Director of Adept Solutions in the Monterey Bay Area of California. And what Russ does is he is a food formulator. So we have great questions to ask him. I hope you can stay with us for the entire program today. Welcome, Russ, to our program.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, we're just thrilled that you could make it tonight. And I know you've been driving all over the country to try to get to here, so we appreciate the effort that you've put forth to come on our program today.
Quite exciting.
Well, I first want to ask you, and I'm sure that all of our viewers do too, what in the world is a food formulator?
We create, convert, and stabilize things. We do it in food and beverage. We do it in cosmetics and skincare, flavor chemistry, functional dietary supplements, things that would deliver nutrients to your body, as well as pharmaceutical and drug development.
Okay, so tell me a kind of thing that you would do. Would you do a soup? Would you do a beverage like a soda? I mean, what kind of things?
It runs the gamut. Cookies, crackers, canned goods, frozen foods, microwavable, novelties, candies, bars. It's a long list. Okay, so when you do this food formulation, so you're putting together the recipe for the food? A recipe is something Mom would make at home.
Okay.
And that would be based typically on volumes. Formulas are more standardized for production, high volumes. All right. So you're dealing more in percentages and empirical weights, that you get standardization over time. And so if a company was going to create a new product, let's say that I decided I was going to bake this wonderful shortbread cookie and I wanted to take it to market, would I bring that to you and say, fix this for me? You would bring it to us from whatever base you like, and we would standardize that for high production situation. Oh, so for mass production. Correct. Longer shelf life, make sure the ingredients are standardized, that type of thing. Okay, so when you say standardized, that means I can only use certain chemicals in it, or I can only use certain ingredients? Not necessarily. No, you can be all natural also. Okay. It depends on what your goals are. Oh, so they really have some flexibility there. Oh, absolutely. As far as what they put in. I mean, we've been eating food since we've been around as a species. The only question is one of time and distance and distribution. So can one do things all naturally? Absolutely. Can one do things all chemically? Absolutely also. Okay. So would your background be more scientific, or would it be more from the chef side of things? Definitely scientific. Okay. I have the ability to burn water at home. I'm not a good chef. Is that right? My wife is the chef in the household. That's interesting. You know, one of the things that I've learned from being on this program and doing this for about a year and a half now, we've been producing this show, is that there are so many chemicals in our foods. And I look at the back of a package of prepackaged food and I don't even recognize what the ingredients are. And it's like, we're eating this, what is it? Is that the kind of stuff you put in foods or that you recommend for them? We do not. Okay. There are people that do. We try to stay away from that. We know what's good and what's bad. We try to stay in the good. Okay. There are many things out there that are exceedingly harmful. We simply refuse to put in if somebody asks us to do it. We're not the people that are going to do that for them. Okay. And so the type of foods that you do obviously runs the gamut, and you said there was even like skincare and things like that. So you're making up the formula, then that company takes it back and then they buy the stuff in bulk and produce the product. Typically, if they are producing themselves, sometimes they're not even producing, and we'll have to facilitate it to be manufactured in private label also. Oh, really? So there's a whole world out there of possibilities, from you doing it yourself all the way through someone else branding it or manufacturing it to your standards. Well,
I know you've been doing this for a while, so without disclosing any trade secrets, can you give us any idea of the type of products we would see on the shelf that you had something to do with?
There's a high probability, if you've ever seen an energy bar in North America, we had something to do with all the major brands, or the majority of the major brands.
Oh, cool.
That would have been a market shift away from breakfast cereals, fat-laden granola bars, candy bars of billions of dollars a year. In the late 1980s, it was too inconvenient to pour cereal into a bowl anymore. It was too inconvenient to pour milk on it. We were out the door on these newfangled things called cell phones. So if you wanted something to eat on the go, energy bars became a convenient form for that.
Okay, and so those are typically things that are sold in health food stores.
Yes, health food stores, athletic stores, that type of thing, outdoor stores, that type of thing. Yeah.
And so in talking of those, would you then say because they're sold in health food stores, they're a healthy product?
Not necessarily. We always start with things that are very efficacious in our laboratories, but mysteriously over time, because of the drive of money, things get dumbed down over time. So what we start with as a very high plateau, in 4 or 5 years could be completely different long after we've touched it.
And so once they have it formulated by you, will that formula stay consistent throughout the life of that product, or do they change it?
Not necessarily.
Could they change it on their own?
Yes, they could.
Okay, but does your formula then go to the FDA or wherever for approval?
This is a funny question. A lady asked me not long ago, she says, so Russ, what you're really saying is XYZ isn't FDA approved. And I said, well, I'm glad you asked that question. Do you shop at a supermarket? She said, of course, we all do. I said, great. Explain to all our colleagues here, because she knew better in asking the question, there's nothing in a supermarket in the food or beverage aisles that are FDA approved. And the answer here is you are either regulatory compliant under the generally recognized as safe lists or codes or Code of Federal Regulation, or you're not. If you're not, the liability then runs back on you if you haven't sought FDA approval.
Okay.
So something that's unusual, a new high-intensity sweetener, as an example, has to go through FDA approval. That isn't something normally occurs in the food chain.
But then that list of approved products, as long as they're using that, they're okay?
Correct.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a break in just a minute, and we have lots of stuff to ask Russ Bianchi today. We are actually setting up a special website, or a special link on our website, so we're going to be talking about the moringa plant coming up in our segments, and you can go to makeyourlifehealthy.com and check out Pat's Picks, and you'll see a sign that says moringa and Zija. So if you want to know more after our program, make sure that you check out that link at makeyourlifehealthy.com. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Don't go away. There's more health news where that came from.
Welcome back to Make Your Life Healthy. I'm Patricia Sternkorb here with Russ Bianchi, food formulator and managing director of Adept Solutions out of Monterey Bay, California. Russ, we were talking a little bit ago about food formulations and what you do, and I wanted to ask you, there are so many packaged foods on the shelf today and so many chemicals and preservatives, and if the companies have the option of either going healthy and doing natural things or doing the preservatives, what is the benefit to them of using preservatives and artificial things? Is it the price, or what is it?
Follow the money.
Is that right?
Probably an average supermarket in America only had about 15,000 to 20,000 items in it by about 1970. Today it's almost 78,000 items.
Wow.
It's expanded exponentially, and it's due to the price of raw materials having been driven down.
Okay.
Your three most profitable things to put into food are air, water, and salt.
I was going to say
followed closely by high fructose corn syrup, which never existed until 1971.
Wow.
So follow the money.
Okay.
They may look good, they might taste good, but are they good for you?
Oh my gosh.
Probably not.
We just did a program recently about, we've done a lot about chemical additives in your food and what to stay away from, what to look for. There are 6,000 different chemicals that go into the average person's grocery cart. I mean, in the grocery store, if you walk through a Meijer or Kroger or whatever, 6,000 different chemicals in the foods on the shelf.
Totally believable. I even get confused, and I'm the jaded guy in the white coat in the lab at the beginning of the food chain. Somebody handed me a very famous brand of canned tomato soup. Red and white label, very famous. And I turned the label over, and even I was aghast. It said tomato soup on the front. On the back, the first ingredient was water. The second ingredient was a combination of nitrites, nitrates, phosphates, salts, monosodium glutamate, then genetically modified cornstarch, then genetically modified corn syrup, followed by 55DE genetically modified high fructose corn syrup.
Oh my gosh.
And the last thing on the label was stripped, deionized, concentrated, acidified, and nutrient-void cooked tomatoes.
Wow.
I guess for coloring. It said tomato soup on the front. It wasn't.
Oh my gosh. And then probably artificial flavorings were in there someplace too to enhance it. It's just amazing to me. What surprises me, I think, the most is that obviously in our society today, we know what's healthy and what's not healthy. The food manufacturers certainly know what's healthy and what's not, and they don't take any, not precautions, but I guess they don't take our health into account when they're making their food products.
Well, I would respectfully disagree. Quality is long remembered after price is forgotten, an old Scottish thrift saying. There is a counter trend going on now. It started with the slow food movement, and it's really expanded quite a lot thanks to the internet primarily and education of consumers and moms out there really wanting to do the right thing, or household members because now some are single-family households. The answer here is people are reading more labels than they ever did before. When the Food and Drug Administration brought in the nutritional facts panels, they thought this was a way to placate themselves legally from liability. In point of fact, nobody paid attention to the nutritional facts panels, but their eyes dropped down to the ingredient statements. Literally, these chemistry brands you talk about, many multi-billion-dollar brands disappeared within 10 years off the shelves as a direct result of that. I remember one famous chocolate donut that was out there that I used to be an addict to. They tasted great. I don't think there were less than 120 different chemicals in that thing.
Oh my gosh.
And it's gone as a brand now. Because consumers made conscious choices and started really realizing what they were doing to themselves. We're overfed in America. We're undernourished.
Completely.
And we're overdrugged.
Yeah, that's so true. We look at a lot of food products on the program, and we talk about a lot of the chemicals and things that are in it that you can get away from, nitrites and nitrates and processed foods. We actually talked about doing a 30-day raw diet and a no UPC code product diet, which is so difficult to do. It's very hard to find the things that you want at just the market or just going to Amish stores or wherever that you can go to the raw markets, and we go a lot to the markets on Saturday. We have a lot of farmers markets.
That's a great
which we get a
option.
lot of things, and we grow our own food. But there are still some things you just about have to buy, and it's hard to do it. So the average person who is not in tune with making their life completely healthy still wants to stay away from some of the garbage, but at the same time make it convenient.
I would suggest one simple little thing. When you're in a supermarket, stay on the corners of the store. If you're in the center aisles, you're in clear and present danger. You're in a minefield. If I can't figure it out, how are you going to figure it out? That's what I would suggest to you. That's where all the real bad stuff is.
In the centers.
Liquids or solids, whatever the packaging might be. Stay out of the center aisles.
And then we'd be okay. Well, you know, a typical food additive, like you were saying, is high fructose corn syrup, which we know is making the next generation fat. It's making us fat, but it's causing our children to face diseases that usually were reserved for older people: diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, of course. And one of the ways we can get away from that is by giving them all natural food and giving them healthier things. So we're going to talk about moringa coming up and talk about some of the health benefits of it. And one of the things that I want to bring out is parents do have the options. Now the kids are back to school. They don't have to let them buy the stuff at school. They can pack their lunch, and that's one of the ways they can do it. But what other things would you recommend to a parent that wants to stay away from some of the artificial things?
First, I would also say for prepubescents in general, stay away from vaccinations and unnecessary boosters. There's a direct causal relationship proven in Lancet Medical Journal on autism. Stay away from that. But we're overfed and undernourished, as I said. We only ate about 1,500 calories in 1965. We eat more than double that now.
Amazing.
With up to 80% less absorbable nutrients in
And
our
why
food.
is it less absorbable? What makes it that way?
Well, everything's been refined, processed, and the chemicals have taken over that blocks that absorption if the nutrients are even there anymore.
Because of genetically modified products?
Genetically modified crops, seeds. You know, if I took a head of spinach in the late 1950s and assayed it for its nutrient value, you'd have to eat 40 today.
Wow.
I'm not a goat or a cow. I'm not going to eat 40 of anything, even out of the produce section.
And it's just because of the genetically modified and
Well, it's soil depletion,
Okay.
crop rotation differences,
That they just don't
petrochemical
do.
fertilizers, acidulants, all kinds of things that go on. Hormonal activity, genetic modification, herbicides, pesticides, the list is very long.
It is. Well, we need to take another break. We'll be right back. Stay with us with Russ Bianchi and Make Your Life Healthy. And remember to go to our website at makeyourlifehealthy.com.
Don't go away. There's more health news where that came from.
Welcome back to Make Your Life Healthy. I'm Patricia Sternkorb with Russ Bianchi. And Russ, we've been talking about food formulations and some of the things you do. And one of the things that I've noticed on tons and tons of food is the high fructose corn syrup, which we were just talking about. Why are they adding this to everything?
Money. After air, water, and salt, it's the least costly thing to stick into food for bulking. It's an artificial molecule that's never existed in nature. It's about 1.41 times sweeter than cane sugar, but it's a monosaccharide, where sugar is a disaccharide, 2 molecules instead of 1. Body doesn't recognize it, automatically converts it to triglycerides in your body, LDL cholesterol, bad cholesterol, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, depression, diabetes, obesity. I'll be delivering a paper in November in Dallas at the Weston A. Price Foundation on high fructose corn syrup. At my website at russbianchi.com, there's lots of information there on it. There's an excellent 90-minute medical lecture there by a colleague by the name of Robert Lustig, who's a teaching pediatrician and endocrinologist at UC San Francisco Med School, called Sugar, the Bitter Truth. It's literally gone viral on the internet. Millions of people have seen it now.
What's interesting is that when you say it didn't exist and our bodies doesn't recognize it, I know we talked about it one of the times on our program, and the fact that when the farmers quit making so much money or allowed the government to direct them in what they wanted them to grow, the corn syrup became something that they could do inexpensively, and then they could get paid for doing.
Correct. The farm subsidy bill has driven this. It's an artificial market that shouldn't really exist. It's corporate welfare, really. And there are many other avenues for corn producers to make lots of money. So it's taxpayer subsidized at the detriment of the health of America. We could arrest, reverse, and cure 70% of all disease in America without spending 1 penny by outlawing high fructose corn syrup in the food and beverage chain within 5 years.
Is
Not
that
1
right?
penny.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, you know, one of the things and the reasons that I wanted you to come on the program is because last fall we were introduced to some of the superfoods that we call them. The acai was one of the ones. We talked about that. And we talked about a plant called the moringa tree. And I know that you've had something to do with moringa Zija, which is a product line that's out now. But what I have read about moringa is that it is horrible if you just taste the moringa tree, you try to get the nutrients from it. Nobody likes it. So how in the world did you go about making that plant something palatable that people would want to eat or drink? And the same with any of the other products that you've tried that are just horrid.
Dozens of species and varietals, many dozens of country that it grows 10 degrees plus or minus equator, been used in human use for over 4 millennia. The problem is taste. There's only 5 rules in the formulation business. Taste, cost, ease of production, regulatory compliance, and true functionality. Violate or fudge on any of those, you don't have a brand, you don't have a product. So with moringa, unlike berries, unlike fruits that are touted out there, which have to be denatured, otherwise they'll ferment by definition. So the people saying that they have fresh juices out there, it's not true. You're buying glorified and overpriced sugar water, really, because it's been pasteurized, acidified, deionized, stripped. It doesn't work, and you're paying a lot of money for nothing. With Moringa, we did something different at Zija International. Ken Brailsford, the founder of the company, allowed us to maintain the quality assurance control, good manufacturing practices, HACCP safety standards, and actual production and standardization of this plant to deliver the first enzymatically alive, raw botanical in a standardized form. What's exciting about that is the body's Krebs cycle, your metabolization, understands this and can utilize it. The National Institute of Health and Medicine declared this form of Zija moringa the plant of the year for 2008 for the globe.
Which is amazing. But how did you make it taste good?
Mitigation of hundreds of problems and diseases.
How did you make it taste good?
With great difficulty. We failed over 143 times.
Wow.
With a team of scientists working almost around the clock.
By whose standards did you fail?
We failed by our own standards
Okay.
because we know hopefully we know at this point in time what people will accept and will not accept.
Okay.
What we started with was an uphill battle with a 100-pound lead weight on our back. By the time we were done, we got something that is very delicious and incredibly nutritious.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the nutrient value of the moringa in just a moment. But I want to ask you, when you have a product like this that you obviously believe in, do you feel like your company needs to believe in all of the products that you do? Are you...
I am an advocate of, yes, walking the walk and talking the talk.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
We won't do things we know are truly harmful for people, and we'll pass them by and let somebody else do them. We try to steer our clients in a direction that's going to give them long-term brand equity and really benefit the consumer. My goodness, if you take care of the consumer, you take care of the brand.
Right, absolutely.
It's pretty straightforward. So deliver things that people need and people want, and the world's your oyster.
Well, I know you mentioned Mr. Brailsford, and he has a history in the nutritional market already. He did a couple of companies before that had to do with vitamins, I think Sunshine, Nature Vitamins.
He was the father of encapsulation in the world. He invented the concept of putting herbs into a capsule to make them convenient to consume. Remember, drugs only maintain, will slowly degrade at cost over time. If you stand too many too long, you're going to die 30 to 40 years early. Plants arrest, reverse, and cure. Ken is a master herbalist. Ken has built two multi-billion-dollar companies in the herbal tradition, and both are efficacious and still around 40 years later. He had gone into retirement, but he saw a 90-minute documentary on the Discovery Channel about this tree literally saving third-world babies and their mothers from starvation.
I've read the book on it. It's just fascinating.
Yeah, and the result is, because of his vision, his knowledge, moringa and Zija have been brought to the world.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, we're going to talk about Zija in a moment and talk specifically about the health benefits of it and actually show some of the products. But when we talk about moringa in general, it's only grown certain parts of the country, but Zija has actually purchased a number of acres just to grow this so that they do not run out of it.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of acres, yes, and they're in India. Typically this grows 10 degrees plus or minus equator, mostly equatorial or tropical environments. Wherever you go, it's a different varietal or species or assayable nutrient value. It grows in Hawaii. The Filipinos have been using it for 400 years. But if you assay that particular kind, it's nutrient void because it's in the tropics where there's lots of water and moisture. So you need very dry, hot conditions, harsh conditions to produce the nutrient value. You know, it's even mentioned in Exodus in the Bible. Moses is wandering about 20 years with the children of Israel, and they come upon Meribah, and he throws a tree into brackish water. There's only one botanical in the last 250,000 years, according to Dr. Monica Marcoux, who wrote the definitive treatise. It's moringa. What else would grow in the desert?
Yeah. Russ, we need to take a break, but we'll be right back with Make Your Life Healthy. Go to our website at makeyourlifehealthy.com. Check out Pat's Picks. You'll see Zija and moringa, and you can check out for more information.
Don't go away. There's more health news where that came from.
Welcome back to Make Your Life Healthy. I'm Patricia Sternkorb here with Russ Bianchi. And Russ, we've been talking about the moringa plant and Zija products. And I want you to tell us about the Zija products. But first of all, I want to ask you one more thing. When you developed this product, why were you so interested in making it something that would be beneficial to people's health? What's the big benefit of it?
Oh, it's overwhelming science. Pharma's been trying to go after this plant for drug development for decades. The literature is in the tens of thousands of peer-reviewed scientific journals and medical journals. What we're delivering here is the National Institute of Health and Medicine Plant of the Year. They say this, not me, for the arrest, reversal, and mitigation of literally over 300 diseases.
Wow. From one plant?
One plant. It's the most nutrient-dense botanical we know of in science.
Which has 92 nutrients or something in it?
Huge amounts of all your recommended and essential vitamins and minerals. Huge levels of omega-3, 6, and 9 that are totally absorbable that never were from fish oil, seafood sources, and flax seed. 36 anti-inflammatories in this one plant, 46 anti-carcinogens and antioxidants in this one plant.
That's amazing.
20 amino acids, 9 of which are essential in their correct ratio, sequencing percentage, and those 9 your body doesn't produce, and they're nowhere to be had from anyone else but Zija and Moringa.
So could you comfortably say that this would take the place of the vitamin packs that we take and the fish oil that we take and the glucosamine? We can get rid of this if we start using Zija.
First, they don't work. Secondly, they're useless. And thirdly, they're a complete waste of money.
So yes, in other words.
Yeah. The answer here is those aren't even in the same universe in terms of true bioavailability and real proven evidentiary results.
What does bioavailability mean?
Absorption.
Okay.
The ability of the body to discern or understand it and use it. And the result is Moringa's natural. It's a botanical. The body understands botanicals very well. You know, you can't even build muscle mass without amino acids from plants. All these bodybuilders out there taking all these caseinates and isolates and whatever, that doesn't build body mass or muscle, slow and fast twitch muscle or recovery or speed or endurance. It's plants that give you that. Moringa does that better than any of them. There's a gentleman in Nashville, Tennessee who's broken 4 world records in weightlifting now, just using Moringa from Zija.
Wow, no kidding. Well, tell us a little bit about the products. You've got some sitting here, so would you show us them and tell us a little bit about it, what it does?
The original product that we did is in a can. Why a can? This protects the Moringa, the proprietary blend from Zija, from ultraviolet degradation. This is also enzymatically alive. It's fully bioavailable.
Okay.
No preservatives, no chemicals, the things you were talking about in here.
So, meaning that it has probiotics in it when you say it's enzymatically alive?
Yeah, well, enzymatically in the sense that the human Krebs cycle, the metabolization and utilization of calories, understands and can utilize it correctly.
All right.
100% of all disease is the erosion of what they call a telomere. This was discovered by Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn, who won the Nobel Prize for Physiology in 2010 at UC San Francisco Med School.
Okay.
When you shorten or thin a telomere or eradicate it, that's what triggers predisposition to disease. Deliver real nutrient-valued botanicals to your body, that degradation doesn't occur. In other words, give the body what it needs. The body self-corrects.
Absolutely.
The name's even fascinating. Zeatin is what they wanted, along with quercetin and pharma. The IJA name is the Sanskrit name going back 3 millennia for the plant. Hence the name Zija, or as I like to say, complete from C to A, but it actually gets into your body.
Cute. Okay, so that's the first thing, and it's already mixed and it's ready to drink.
Ready to roll, even in a lined can, so you don't have to worry about aluminum or things like that some folks worry about.
Okay.
Really pristine, ready to roll.
All right, now I started drinking Zija about a month ago, and immediately after 2 days could tell a difference with my arthritis. And I use the kind that's in the little pack, so tell us the difference.
The pack gives you convenience. I travel a lot, and I'm in airports a lot. I can't take this through security. They won't let me take it through. So I'm a good citizen. I stick it in my luggage under the plane, but the barometric pressure is different there. And all of a sudden, inside my suitcase, I have healthy, wet, green underwear.
Oh, I bet.
It leaks. So the powder gives you that versatility. All you have to do is add it with water.
Okay.
One caveat with this. Don't mix it with thin, blow-molded plastic bottled water.
Okay.
Because that's got BPA in it, which is a real nasty chemical. You don't want to be around it. But this is a convenient form. And some people like a little water, some like medium, and some like a lot. Depends on your preference. It's always your mileage may vary kind of thing.
Okay.
All right?
All right. What's next?
Next, exciting. Sports drinks.
Okay. Wait a minute. Sports drinks are terrible for you. I've read all about them. There's no sports drink that's healthy.
Wrong.
Oh, okay.
But you're correct in your assertion, though. All of these magical names, the red bovines, and we can name all the names.
Right.
What are they? They're synthetic anhydrous chemical caffeine at lethal levels that will stop your heart. Unregulated, pre-narcotic, and nasty, not generally recognized as safe, taurine and guarana. Vitamins B6 and 12 synthesized from the intestines in pigs in slaughterhouses, with the rest being ground up to kill pets in pet food. Carcinogenic sweeteners, carcinogenic colorants, carcinogenic flavors, acidulants, preservatives, stabilizers, cause birth defects, cause cancer.
And the most thing we've seen it, though, is the caffeine. Just loaded with caffeine.
And it's bad for your heart. Combine that with a blood depressant like alcohol, it's a meet your maker cocktail.
Which they do. They combine those drinks with alcohol all the time at parties.
People dropping dead all the time.
Okay, so what's different about this?
All the goodness and moringa of the leaf puree, the fruit puree, and the seed cake, and all the nutrients from this can with ginseng, garlic, fruit pectin, green tea, and natural flavor. The result is you get a kinesiological or sports energy benefit of sustained blood glucose, no blood crash, no lactic acid buildup so you're not cramping.
So it's natural caffeine.
No, there's not.
No caffeine.
Well, there is some caffeine there, a tiny amount.
Okay.
But it is from real coffee as opposed to some chemistry set. And it's at very tiny levels, maybe 1/6.
So somebody that's
caffeine sensitive would not have an issue.
Okay, that was the question I had. Yes,
typically, not in everybody. There's never an absolute.
Right.
But in the vast majority. And the opportunity here is you're building speed, agility, endurance, strength, recovery. And world records have been performed on this.
Wow.
Even Evander Holyfield, the five-time champ, is now training on this for a 6th title.
That's great. Well, we need to take a break. We'll be right back to finish up some of the other products and talk some more about Moringa and Zija. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Don't go away. There's more health news where that came from.
Welcome back to Make Your Life Healthy. I'm Patricia Sternkorb here with Russ Bianchi, and we're talking about Zija Moringa, wonderful new product. And Russ was just telling us about some of the products, so continue on with the next thing that you have there.
Exciting, convenient, but again, tough to bring on an airplane.
Yeah.
So now we have a powdered version which combines all the nutrients in the original sachet with the sports drink at a lower price.
Oh, that's a big thing.
So this is a convenient thing for folks. Now, if we're giving you nutrition in 19 calories, we can build a foundation that you haven't gotten in all the food you're overeating on that doesn't have the nutrients. Then we can give...
Okay, but wait a minute, before you go on.
Yeah.
Why would somebody take the XM Plus? Is just for after you do a workout, or when they're
people on the go, they're burning a lot of calories, really.
Okay, it's like you had the 3 o'clock at your desk trying to fall asleep.
This will stop that dead in its tracks. So hydrating this, sipping it throughout the day, you're good to go.
Okay, all right. And it's okay if you've already drank the Smart Mix in the morning?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. There's no inter-contradiction there.
Okay.
By the way, there's no inter-contradiction or adverse side effects with any of these things and the use of over-the-counter or prescription drugs.
That's amazing.
This is food. This is nutrients.
Okay.
It's safe. Real
Even
safe.
for somebody that's on chemo or Coumadin or all the different things. That's
not
amazing.
an issue.
Okay.
All right?
All right, great. Okay, what's next?
If we deliver real nutrients, then we can build a foundation to trigger your brain to say, I'm not hungry. And we give you a little capsule that is basically all the same nutrients in here, the sports drink, pulling the rest of the water out, but then adding in geranium seed and black cocoa powder.
Okay.
And that little capsule says, I'm not hungry, and you don't overeat. And if you don't overeat, you burn body fat and you lose weight. Mm-hmm. There's a problem with it, though. The problem is at pennies on the dollar versus kumbaya weigh-in sessions, phony point scales, cardboard meals, and all the stuff that hasn't worked for almost 40 years, ripping the economy off for $63 billion a year, and everybody isn't any lighter. In fact, 7 out of 10 are overweight in America now.
That's exactly right, yeah.
This will allow you to lose the weight without exercise, without a change in your diet. But then when we give you a tea, you don't hit the plateau. And the result is you can burn as much body fat as you want.
So this is an amazing weight loss program in addition to the nutrition. But if somebody doesn't want to lose weight, they don't have to do the capsules.
They don't have to do that. They can just get the nutrition, or if they know someone that happens to want to lose some weight.
Oh yeah.
Here's an opportunity.
7 out of 10 people.
Here's an opportunity, pennies on the dollar versus anything else. Not only does it really work in 100% of the cases, if they use it correctly, they keep it off. It doesn't come back.
And that's because after they have lost the weight, they continue to stay on the Zija, which keeps their body balanced.
You keep taking this to your 105th birthday, not hiding your own Easter eggs.
I love it. Okay, so now there's a new product here in addition to the XM that you take mid-morning. It's called XMPM.
XMPM calms you down. It has 4 real neat ingredients in it. One's called ashwagandha, which is an Indian name, and it controls serum cortisol in your body.
Okay.
You are calm. You don't get uptight anymore. We're all on cell phones running around a lot. We're always worried. We're always in an anxious state. This calms you down. But then we give you Gymnea sylvestre, which is a Latin name for another Indian herb that literally means sugar eater. It blocks and stops the conversion of sugar to fat.
Wow.
Then we give you sea kelp. And sea kelp, in 100% of all empirical studies where someone takes sea kelp versus someone who doesn't, lose weight.
Really?
Plus the nutrition of moringa, which is absolutely required as a base part, and you now have an opportunity to not have those munchies after dinner. You're not raiding the refrigerator.
When you're stress eating of all the days work.
And you sleep incredibly well with no stimulants and no
all natural. Everything is all natural.
Weird TV commercials for sleep aids.
Nobody getting up in the middle of the night and raiding the refrigerator.
Right.
So a logical weight loss system would be the Zija Smart Mix in the morning.
Correct.
Then one of the XM capsules before lunch.
Correct.
Then regular eat whatever you're going to do. About an hour before dinner, you do this XM PM.
And then the tea.
And the tea at night. Okay, so that takes care of it.
One caveat here, don't microwave the water.
Okay.
In fact, if you have a microwave, go buy yourself some super glue and glue the door shut. Nobody should be using microwaves.
All right. There's another product sitting here that doesn't look like it's something you can eat or drink. What is that?
For the last 4 millennia or more, the only thing moringa was consistently used for was once a year they would crush the seeds, they would get this lovely aromatic oil, and they would either burn it at a lamp for fuel or cook with it. Nobody ever bothered to put it onto your skin.
Oh.
Non-greasy, it absorbs in about 3 minutes. It'll be absorbed 7 dermals down in your skin. It'll restore collagen, it lifts wrinkles, it restores damaged skin.
Really? Could you take a bath in that?
You probably could, but that would be a little overkill, I think.
Okay.
But the bottom line here is the Gen M line, the Generation Moringa line. I've done many famous skincare lines in the world, in Europe, the United States, and elsewhere. This is 9 years in technology ahead of any other skincare line at about up to 80% lower cost depending on your dosage level.
Wow.
So very exciting. So vertical integration from raw materials through finished brands at the lowest possible price and delivering real nutrition and wellness for life.
Now, did you have your hand in all of these products, the development of each one of them?
Yes.
So you know specifically what's in each one of them. You know that it's all natural. You can vouch for it.
Absolutely, I can.
That's awesome.
And I do.
And when you look forward in our society and our way of taking vitamins and everything, do you see this as something that everybody could afford and everybody can be involved with?
Yes, this is going to be a global company. It already is a global company. It's already in Asia, Europe, the United States,
Japan,
Central and South America, Japan, soon Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah, I just heard that.
South America, it's going everywhere. Why? The products work, and they work well at low cost.
Well, we need to take another break. I hope that you're staying with us throughout all these segments. Go to our website and look under Pat's Picks for Zija Moringa, and don't go away because we still have another segment coming up. Russ Bianchi and Patricia Sternkorb.
Don't go away. There's more health news where that came from.
Welcome back to Make Your Life Healthy. Where does the time go? This is our last segment of our program today with Russ Bianchi and Zija Moringa products. And Russ, you know, I love all these products. There's so many neat things, and they all are consistent as far as the Moringa plant and what's in them, but I've never seen these in the stores. So can you go to a health food store and buy these? How do you buy these products?
No, you will never see them in a store.
Never?
Never.
Okay.
They are sold only directly to the users. It goes from a warehouse to the user's house. Unique distribution. It's actually direct referral distribution. It's a hybrid model that's never existed. Real U.S. oral pharmacopoeia quality and science under dietary supplement law in a direct medical distribution referral model. So you merely refer a friend, they order it up, and it's delivered to their front door.
Oh, cool.
Takes out all the middlemen, takes out all of that margin, and puts that opportunity in the person who's using it.
Okay, so I have a friend who's interested in purchasing this. They could come to me, they could say, I want to buy this from you. I could then have the warehouse send it to their house.
Correct. They would sign up and the warehouse would send it to them.
Okay, on an automatic thing.
On an automatic.
I think I did that one time with some face cream and they just kept sending it to me over and over.
That doesn't happen here. You control your own destiny with this. And you can mix and match and a la carte and kits. There's all kinds of ways to do it. So it's what you want and what you need.
So this model of person-to-person sales is going to continue on. It's not something they're going to stop doing.
This is a cutting-edge global trend. This, Ken Brailsford basically, Sam Walton said, I got rid of the middleman with Walmart. Ken Brailsford gets rid of Sam Walton's kids.
Okay.
No more big box stores and all of the stuff that goes with it.
All right, great. So, Zija, we have put a link on our website at makeyourlifehealthy.com, and I have it under Pat's Picks. If anybody's looking for more information, there's some information about Moringa. You can click on Pat's Picks Zija, and it'll take you to another website which has all kinds of information on it. There's another place on there where you'll be able to link, if you wanted to send a question to Russ, our formulator here, you would be able to do that as well. His website is also going to be on our website, as well as on the crawler, which is russbianchi.com.
Correct.
Okay, so if people have questions about it. And the nice thing about this, the excitement of having a real weight loss program, because I always battle with my weight. It's up and down all the time.
This is permanent weight loss.
Permanent. See, now I was told that the last time I was on injections that I was doing and taking a hormone injection that was going to be permanent too, and it wasn't quite as permanent as I wanted it to be. So this will be permanent. This
is permanent because we're delivering real nutrients that nobody's ever done before from the most nutrient-dense botanical on the planet, and the only place you can get it is at Zija International.
Okay, so tell me just a real quick rundown. We've only got a couple minutes left. What are some of the other things that it helps, besides I've already vouched for the fact that it really has helped my arthritis, and we know weight loss. What else will it do for people?
Well, we're not a drug, so we don't diagnose, treat, prevent, cure, mitigate, or prescribe.
Okay.
However, what has been reported to me consistently, not only inflammation and rheumatoid and osteoarthritis, we've seen blood control of sugar, blood sugars controlled, certainly weight loss, cardiovascular benefits, mental clarity benefits, digestion benefits.
So like somebody who has GERD?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Takes the place of all those pills.
Neuropathy and pain issues, sleep issues. The list is very, very long because we're delivering nutrients that just haven't been there. How come we're eating double the calories we did 40 years ago? And how come we're consuming 3 to 4 times the drugs we did only 20 years ago?
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a lack of nutrients in the food. Moringa's delivering this back to take back your own life, your family's life, your community's life at the lowest possible price.
Which is amazing. Like I said, I've started on it about a month ago. I love the way that it makes me feel. I love the no aches and pains. I have a friend who has neuropathy really bad, and we just started her on that, so I'm anxious to see. I think she's going to be shouting from the rooftops when she really gets this into her system.
Well, I've personally used to wear reading glasses. I don't wear them anymore.
Really?
The stigmatism is gone. My eyes are better, and I hear this consistently from other folks because of the huge amount of vitamin A and lutein in this. So we knew back in World War II when we gave navigators and pilots over Germany berries and things that had high amounts of vitamin A in them that would help. This has huge levels.
Wow.
So there's a lot of categories here. I mean, NIH says over 300 different things, and that's the federal government who researches all day long. So I wish anyone luck in trying to out-research them.
Yeah.
But remember, there's literally thousands of published scientific studies on
So
this.
if anybody really wanted to do some background search on it, which I did last fall and then I've done since then, they can go online, go to just Moringa, and they can find tons and tons of information about it.
Well, what I would do is I would go to third-party validation sites.
Okay.
PubMed.gov,
Okay.
treesforlife.org.
Okay.
My website has links to a lot of this at russbianchi.com.
I found a really interesting report at the Harvard Medical School on their website about moringa. I've seen, I know Monica Marco's book, The Miracle Tree, is an excellent source of information.
Dr. Duke's Ethnobotany, Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, Sloan Kettering, Vanderbilt Medical School, the list goes on and on and on.
This is not just a fly-by-night product that's going to be here and then gone. This has real nutritional value, and it is something that every family who has any issues, and I don't know of any family who doesn't have issues, needs to get their family members taking this product and using it as a daily basis.
Deliver nutrients to the body, restore wellness.
Go to our website, www.makeyourlifehealthy.com. Click on the Zija link, and you will find out how to get this product, how to become involved in the Zija wave of the future. Russ, we have really appreciated having you on our show today. Thank you so much, and I hope that you can come back again for another segment. We can talk about some of the other advances that we're doing in this. I know the product line is going to eventually expand, and we'd love to have you come back and share more information.
I look forward to that, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I hope everybody out there enjoyed our program, and remember to check out our website at makeyourlifehealthy.com. Until next time, bye-bye. You know, about 6 or 7 years ago, I wrote a book called Stranger Danger. And this was a book that I wrote after we had our first granddaughter. And I was really looking for something that would help our kids to stay safe. I don't want them talking to strangers. I was, you know, of course, when you have your first grandchild, it's like, what's going to happen to her? She's going to be okay. And so I wrote this book all about stranger danger. And it's a wonderful rhyming book that you can get and read to your children. We've sold a lot of thousands of copies of these, and right now we are offering this on our website. You can go to makeyourlifehealthy.com and you can order this book. It's about a 32-page book. It's very nicely illustrated, and it's got a wonderful rhyme in it, and it just talks a little bit about stranger danger and what kids need to do, saying no, running away, turning away, and going someplace else. So go on our website, makeyourlifehealthy.com, and look for Stranger Danger. There will be a little box that you can check.